Good morning and welcome to another Wellbeing Wednesday. For those of you that saw last week's recording, I am still with the wonderful Dawn Palmer, and this is a follow-on the same day. We have changed our clothes since, but Dawn and I got to talking after our last recording about the conversations. When you have those conversations about what you then do with the information and how you process the information that you've been given. So we decided a great follow-on for today would be just that. So Dawn, so we've had the conversation.
Right.
The person that we've been talking to has opened up to us, probably given us quite a lot of emotion in that. So then where do we go from there as individuals?
Well, it depends. I mean, if you're talking as a coach, then yes, we have all sorts of different things we can do to help them. But if you're just an individual who wants to help a colleague, that can be scary. And yes, it is about helping find the right person for them to talk to properly. It's about a good referral. Who do you trust to refer them on to?
Mm-hmm.
But from the point of view of being the listener, and as a coach, and I've been doing it a long time, it's crucial that we know where to go. It's absolutely crucial, because there's times when we've heard a great deal of emotion, of angst, of really feeling for that person, and you can do all the professional things you like, but there's points, when it gets to you. And I'm more than happy to say, professionally, that there's two wonderful colleagues, psychologists, who they will retain things they understand. It's so vital to obviously not divulge any of the actual content. However, I can message and have a call with them and go, right, this is how this has left me feeling. Somebody was dealing with blah. So there's no names. And sometimes it's literally just a WhatsApp voice message where it's, right, so this happened, let's have your thoughts on it. And it just helps me refocus, readjust, and be constructive for the next person. Go on.
We're in a sort of slightly privileged position because of what we do and the people that we know, that we have got that network of support around us. For a lot of people, they don't have that. So what would you maybe suggest in that situation?
But then it's about being honest. And I've done it many years ago and said, look, I'm going to be out of my depth here. What I can help you do is find the right person to support you. And I think that was key to me, learning to identify, okay, it's a bit like if your car starts to really clunk, you're not a mechanic, but you know to take it somewhere. With somebody that's going through all sorts of problems. And if you feel ill-equipped, but know that you can be instrumental in making them understand there is going to be someone there that can help and support, that's the key.
And like you say, also helping them find that person.
Absolutely.
And supporting them on that journey. I mean, I've spoken to a lot of people, and a lot of sort of coaches and therapists and clinicians say that you don't always find the right person first time. So as a layman, it's vital to be there, I think, to support that person till they find that connection with somebody more qualified that they can talk to and is really going to support them.
And sometimes it's more than one person as part of their journey. There's people with specialisms in various areas, and there's some people who would feel more comfortable. They might have a preference to whether it's a man they talk to or a woman. There's all sorts of things to factor in, but this is where we're fortunate, because we can say, okay, I know a number of people that are coaches, but it's finding the one that you think is going to be the best fit. And if it works out that that's not the case, then that's fine. We all understand about moving to somebody who potentially is going to be good for them. But it's really important you don't carry other people's angst and emotions. And it's how you get rid of them. Just personally, I think everybody should have a rant buddy. And my rant buddy, love her to bits. She will never divulge the fact that she'll take one look at my face when I arrive, and it's like, okay, corkscrew or kettle. You know,
Love
where are we going? And I get like 10 minutes and I sound off, and then either a mug or a glass has appeared, and it's right, enough now. And there is no way she'd look at you the next day and say, oh, you should have heard her yesterday.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah.
And I do the same for her. And that's crucial. And I would suggest you don't make your partner your rant body.
No, I don't think that's a good idea at all, to be honest.
That's not good. But it's acknowledging you need to let go. And people do it, whether they cycle, whether they drive fast, or whether they bake, you know, it doesn't matter, but get it out of your system. Hugely important. It's
funny, isn't it, how I think we overcomplicate things when it comes to mental health. Because I was listening to what you were saying about if you go to a certain coach or you go to a certain therapist and it doesn't work out, that some people feel bad saying, oh no, this isn't working for me. But if you go to a dentist and you don't like what they've done or the way they've treated you or they've really hurt you, you have no qualms about finding another dentist. And it's like, in the great scheme of things, if you have a bad day at work and your boss has been on your case, you have no qualms about sort of phoning up your friend and saying, put the kettle on, I've had a really crap day at work, I'm just going to come round and unload. But when it comes to mental health, it's almost like we stumble. It's like, oh no, can't talk about that. Or and I really, those myths just so need to be busted.
But I think that's because people are trying to put on a brave face. And I have such a huge issue with this whole, you know, well, put a brave face on and you'll be fine. And behind it, you're crumbling.
Yeah.
Right? No, admit you're having a rubbish time. It's fine. Then we can do something. And I learned that years and years ago. A lovely friend of mine loaned me a book and she said, you'll know why I've loaned you that when you've read it. And I'm like, oh gosh, here we go. And all of a sudden the penny dropped. And yes, I had to buy it for myself. And she was spot on.
Yeah.
And it was basically, if, you know, a child breaks a toy, if it doesn't pass that toy to a grown-up to be fixed, it's going to remain broken.
Yeah.
I thought, oh my gosh, and there's my learning, because I was doing that whole, no, it's fine, I can manage, I can do it. And there were some things where I needed to actually go, I need a hand with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then take the learning and know if other people are doing similar to what you did, go, I did that. It's a pain, isn't it? There's another way in then.
Absolutely. So again, 30 seconds, Dawn, top tip for listeners.
Top tip for listeners, know what to do with it when you've heard it. If you feel you're able to process and deal with it in a constructive way, that's great. If you don't, be really open and say, you're going to need to talk to someone else and I'm going to help you find that person.
That is perfect. Listen, Dawn, thank you so much, especially for doing an impromptu double header with me. I really,
That's
really
just
appreciate
impressive, isn't it, eh?
Girl power. And I look forward to speaking to you again soon. Thank you so much for your time, Dawn.
Thank you, darling. Bye.
Bye.